What's good, y'all? It's Jay, and before we get started on this video, I just wanted to thank every single one of you guys for 100 subscribers. I truly appreciate it. We're gonna keep going up. We're gonna get to 200 and up. We're gonna get to 2,000. We're gonna keep growing. We're gonna keep grinding. All right. So appreciate y'all. Thank you. Let's get into the video. All right. So the last video I spoke about cardio methods for fat loss, right? But in this video, I want to talk to you guys about fat loss entirely, and what you have to do as a whole to lose fat, not just the cardio portion of it. So I want to explain everything right here so you know the entire gist of losing fat. So to keep it short and simple, it's calories in versus calories out. I explained this very briefly in my last video, but I'm gonna go more in depth with it in this one. Like I said in the last video, if you're eating a certain amount of calories throughout the day, then you have to burn more calories than you ate. So if you ate 2,000 calories, you therefore have to burn more than 2,000 calories in your day if you want to lose fat. You just gotta keep burning more than what you consumed. So here's the thing, a question might arise like, how many calories do we burn in a day? How do we know how many calories we burn in a day? Well, here's the thing. You have to be able to calculate a few things, or a few rough estimates. None of these numbers are going to be exact, but these are rough estimates that will give you a ballpark of how many calories you burn in a day. So the first thing you do is you calculate your resting metabolic rate. So like I said in my last video, your resting metabolic rate is how many calories your body burns just from keeping you alive. So if you was to do absolutely nothing today at all, you would still burn this amount of calories no matter what. So in order to calculate your resting metabolic rate, you have to take your weight in pounds and you have to multiply it by 10. So if a man weighs 180 pounds, he multiplies that by 10, and that's 1,800 calories. So same thing, if you just weigh 100 pounds for whatever reason, that's 1,000 calories. That's how many calories you're burning in a day without doing anything. Your weight times 10. As simple as that. Okay, but obviously your resting metabolic rate isn't the only factor in terms of how many calories you burn throughout the day. Like I said, that's how much is spent to keep you alive, but then you have to add in your activity, right? The things you do throughout the day, whether you went walking, running, jogging, whatever. If you, like anything you did, really went shopping, whatever. If you take all those things together, you'll have your activity factor. And what you do is to calculate your total energy expenditure throughout the day is you take your resting metabolic rate, which is, like I said, your weight in pounds times 10, and then you multiply it by your activity factor. Now, there are different numbers for your activity factor that I'm going to read to you right here, and based off of how much you do throughout the day, you choose which activity factor you think suits you best, whether you think you're a person that's very active, or you think you're a person that's not really active like that at all and you're completely sedentary. So if you're sedentary, your activity factor number will be 1.2 to 1.3. If you do very light amount of activity, then you would be 1.5 to 1.6. If you are active, then you'll be 1.6 to 1.7. If you're very active, you'll be 1.9 to 2.1. Now, a big assumption I will make, if you are watching this video and you are looking for a way to lose fat, it's likely that you're probably sedentary, and you could do an exercise here and there throughout the day or whatever, but that doesn't mean that you were active the entire day, right? I could work out in the morning, intensely and whatever, but go to an office job and just be sitting at a desk all day, right? That's not really doing anything. You're just sitting down all day. So that's being sedentary. So if you're not really sure about which activity factor to choose for yourself, I was probably go on the safe side and choose sedentary, so you don't overestimate how many calories you burn. So I would take that 1.2 in sedentary. I'll always take the lowest number, so you never overestimate how many calories you burn. So yeah, that's how you get your total energy expenditure. You take your resting metabolic rate times the activity factor. I'll give you a short example right here. If I'm 180 pounds, multiply that by 10, that's going to give me 1,800. 1,800 times 1.2 is 2,160 calories. So I would burn 2,160 calories each day. So that means if I eat anything below that, I'm gonna lose fat. So if I'm eating 2,000 calories, I'm gonna lose fat. If I'm eating 1,900 calories, I'm gonna lose fat. A lot of people I see use 500 calorie deficits. So 2160 minus 500 would be 1660. You could do that if you would like, but yeah, just eat below that number that you calculate and you lose fat. Alright, so kind of going back to my last video, what you do is you increase your activity levels through working out if you want to burn more calories, which will allow you to eat more calories too, or you keep your calories the same and then just increase the activity and burn. Say you were eating the certain amount of calories that will help you maintain weight. Just increase your activity and then that's going to help you lose more fat, right? So you could do that. Some people choose not to work out like that at all, and then they just go ahead and eat like less or whatever, and then they still lose fat like that. But the best way to obviously do it is to increase your activity also while decreasing your calories. So you know you're burning more and you're eating less. So obviously you're gonna lose fat if you're doing both of those things together. So lastly, what I'll say is, when you're trying to lose fat, I know I made a video on doing cardio for fat loss. That doesn't mean to not do resistance training. So you could do calisthenics, you could lift weights, you could do push-ups, pull-ups, dips, bench press, squats, deadlifts, all that. You do those exercises because when you're doing those things, like I said, you're building muscle, right? You're not trying to burn more calories, you're trying to build muscle, but the reason you want to still do them is because muscle burns more calories than fat. So when you have more muscle in your body, throughout the day, it's gonna burn more calories than if you had fat on your body. All right, so do that so you can build the muscle, so you could indirectly be burning more calories just being alive, because you have more muscle than another person, right? So do it like that. And when you're picking these resistance training exercises, do remember to choose compound exercises though, okay? So if you choose compound exercises, if you don't know what they are, it's just using more than one joint at a time, right? So a single joint exercise would be a bicep curl. A lot of people like to do bicep curls, right? But a multiple joint exercise, a compound exercise, would be stuff like a shoulder press or a pike push-up, push-ups, pull-ups. Like, and it's using multiple joints because, like, let me explain to you. If you do a pull-up, you're moving your shoulder, right? And you're moving your elbow. So you're moving both of these. You're not just doing this with your elbow, and you're not just doing this with your shoulder, not raising it and just like, you know what I'm saying? So you're moving them at the same time. So if you're moving multiple joints at the same time, it's a compound movement. And when you do compound movements, it burns more calories than when you're doing single joint movements. So that's why you want to do that as well. But anyway, guys, like I said, check out the cardio video for more fat loss tips when doing cardio to increase your caloric expenditure. If you did enjoy this video, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Catch y'all in the next one.